I have really appreciated being here, and Aaron, thank you for taking me around, and thank you to all the teachers for letting me interrupt you, and the superintendents too. Thank you for letting me know the issues here. This is really and I appreciate that, because I mean I am selling, but I'm also really trying to listen, because we all are in this together. I don't care what your party is, I don't care what your position is, and if you're looking at, from my point of view, what's the best thing we could do in Pennsylvania is to get everybody a really good job. I mean, a job, family sustaining job is the best public policy there is. So you work back from that, how do we do that? And I think obviously we can disagree and have a good, robust conversations about how you do that, but what goes on in a place like this is a really key part of it. How we make education relevant and quality. I mean, that's what we're working at, and we've got to recognize two things as far as I'm concerned. For a place like this, we've got to make sure that we're raising the money fairly, that we're not burdening one group of people over another, and that's why I think the property tax relief, I know that's a Republican and a Democratic issue. We've all heard that, and that's really important. Then the other side of that is we've got to make sure we're investing it wisely, so that we're not shortchanging certain school districts, that we're not shortchanging certain curriculum. And what goes on here is really important, because what I heard was just about anybody who gets out of here has a job. And we'd like them to stay in Pennsylvania, you'd like them to stay in Clarion County, and so we're all in this together. And the key is, how can we do this better? How can we make sure places like this are actually delivering on the promise of a good preparation for that good job, that good family sustaining job that's going to keep someone here in Clarion County in Pennsylvania? That's what we really want. And it sounds simple, and I understand it's not that simple, and we're going to have all kinds of neat discussions, not arguments, discussions over how we get to the right place. But I think the thing that's important is to recognize, one way or the other, we've got to figure this out. We can't just sort of throw our hands up and say, you know, somebody else is going to take care of this for me. This is somebody else's problem. It's our issue, and we need to do it. If we do it well, this is Clarion County. I live in York County. If we do it well here in Clarion County, my life is going to be better in York County. That's the shared responsibility that we all have. It's not just Clarion County. It's not just one school district in Clarion County. We're all in this together, and that's what makes this really interesting for me, to come around and see the great things that are going on here. So I appreciate you taking the time to show me around, to share the issues with me. These are important to all of us, not just to you in Clarion County. We got to get this right. So again, thanks for having me here. And where's Aaron? Aaron, thank you for hosting me here today.
No, I appreciate it.
You're moving around on me here. You really
I'm gonna get pictures.
Okay. All right. So, any questions I can answer? Any feedback that you want to give me?
Just a comment.
Yeah.
Working for the senator, I've been at a couple of these because our area is so big, and I just think we need to look at, I mean, this is the answer to employment, and the places aren't big enough. I mean, there's not enough slots for the kids that want to come to a tech school.
Now, are you seeing, that's an interesting point, because in not too long ago, you know, parents were pushing the kids to go to college. And now do you sense we're finally getting the message that actually college, I went to college, so I mean, it's right for some people, it's not right for everyone. We need a really good alternative. And the nice thing is, by the way, that technical education has gotten so technical. I was talking to the folks back in the diesel, when I was in the Peace Corps, one of the things I learned was how to do diesel mechanics on farm tractors. They didn't look anything like the ones that I saw here. And so you know, things are changing, and the skills you need, the knowledge you need to be able to work on something like that isn't too far different from what a high school student needs if she's going to become an astrophysicist. So
Because those are the kind of jobs that are around here, like the welding especially. There's an advisory board of a bunch of superintendents and human resources people and company people that got together, and I happen to serve on the board. And like one school district in Venango County said that he had like 23 applications, and he only gets 5 slots of the tech school. You know, so there must be a need out there,
Yeah.
you know, in the schools. I served on a school board for 12 years, and we couldn't beg kids to get, and this is, you know, 15 years ago, we couldn't beg kids to go to the rec center.
Why is it?
I don't know,
Why
because
wasn't
there
it?
were other jobs. There was the Joy, there was, in Venango County, there was Joy, there was Franklin Steel, there was CPT, there was Quaker State, there was, and they just moved out of high school and sometimes into a job, into a labor job.
Good job, okay.
But those aren't there anymore.
Right.
So now they have to get some kind of specialty, which, you know, welding's a big deal now with the Marcella Shell and all
Right,
that.
right.
You know, they wanna get into the business, and they're young and they're willing to travel with these energy
Right,
companies, you
right.
know? So I think that has a lot to do with it, and like the people that wanna go into like the police enforcement and stuff, you know, that's a, you know, it's better than going through the college track and throwing out more teachers that we can't hire, you know? We have so many people that come into our office that have teaching degrees and can't get a job.
Okay, so this is important. Yes, sir.
I want to add to that, the disconnect that I see is that students are not aware of the companies that are out there. They don't know what the companies do. They get a stereotype that says, oh, this company does that, and they don't really know. They need to get connected. They need to go into the companies, take tours, job shadow. You need to have more of that so the kids can go in and see that there's jobs out there they never knew existed.
Now, how would you do that?
Well, that's where you have to connect. Aaron's doing a really good job at starting that. I've seen in the paper that he's starting to get the local companies to come in here and see what the kids do and let the kids go to their companies.
Right.
You've got to get the kids interacted with those companies so that they can see what they do.
Now, what are you doing, like, the other thing is to make sure the teachers are connected to know, because the demands, if you got your teaching degree 20 years ago, the world has changed pretty dramatically. And when I was, okay, I'm an old man, but when I was in school, one of the big questions was, why should I take Algebra 1? Well, now there are a lot of really good answers for that. I mean, it doesn't matter what you want. If you want to be a plumber, you need algebra. And you know, that could be really helpful for a teacher to know that. So are your teachers going out are you connecting with the community as much as you think you could?
We probably could expand that. I think that's a key point. And Aaron is doing a good job of pulling in businesses. I think business partnerships with career and technical centers with school districts is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Being with economic development, there's a real push right now, and I know Butch knows this too, for economic development and workforce development to work together better. Be better partnerships so that we can help our industries with what they need to supply the workforce.
And how are you doing that?
We're working together with the WIB and the different partners the career links.
Right.
And we're gonna become strong partners and work better together. They'll know the needs, and I'll work with the industries and the companies, and together we hope we can, rather than just sending anybody, we can really right fit.
And are you working with the schools?
The schools are our partners.
Good.
We're prep partners, Northwest Commission, and
Well,
career
and I didn't
links.
mean to, I wasn't trying to trip you up there.
Oh, no,
It
you're not. No,
wasn't
no.
too long. When I was chairman with York County Chamber of Commerce, one of the things in the late 80s was to bring schools and businesses together.
Mhm.
No, it's not natural. And it's becoming
a really
more of a
good partnership. I mean,
that's really important.
I believe it is. I have school districts here.
Sure.
And Butch Camp, he's been on the WID board commissioner. and he
We
knows.
just redesigned our WIP board and made it more industry friendly. It was made up of non-private sector people.
Right.
And I think that's part of the problem with this facility is you've got educators who took the 4-year route. And I'm not knocking the 4-year route.
Please.
It's important. But that's all they know, so they're pushing kids to that. I know there are some schools that tell their students, if you go to the career center, you can't go to college. And that draws down a lot, and it's not in true fact. So the schools need to, and I hate to say it, but you need to push that there are other options. I spent 2 years as a career counselor, and it was amazing the number of students that thought, I have 2 choices, go to college and be successful, or don't go to college and be a failure. That is not true. The kids today coming out of this facility 5 years down the road, you know, it used to be a college graduate in 20 years will make way more than a non-college graduate. Not true anymore. These students that are graduating from the Career Center or two-year technical schools are making significantly more money, and more of them are going into their industry that they've been trained for than college educated.
Dr. we have time for one more. Okay, it's a big cultural shift. Yes?
Just a comment, for the past 7 years, we've had an industry club. We
Have you?
work with students that they go out and they visit all the local industries and they come back, and at the end of the year, we have a program, they report back, so it's.
And how have you seen, has there been a greater interest over the years, or is it pretty static, or are you pushing water uphill, or is this something that you think people are seeing?
It's been steady. It's a small district, but I would say we have between 20 and 30 students in the club. And they love the field trips, and every year they come back with big smiles on their faces, and they.
Just because they're out of school?
It's empty.
Oh, wow, okay.
They,
It does.
they need to see that there are jobs available for
Right.
them when they come out. They
Well-
need to see that at the local level.
So what should I be doing? to help
Economic
us?
development support
Okay.
would be wonderful, because
Yes.
as we've lost a lot of manufacturers in the area in recent years, and I think that there is a belief among some of our students that the idea of coming out and getting a job somewhere close by is not there.
Yeah.
So they have to see that there are good jobs available in our communities.
And what can you do? Real easy. Be a partner to us. The counties, the economic development, we
Yes.
can't offer what other states are offering. It's coming from the state level. And it's been decent. Has not been void, but it could be better.
Okay.
The cuts to entice these businesses to come. Once we get them in Pennsylvania, Clarion County can get them, but we got to get them into Pennsylvania first.
Okay. All right, I got it. Anything else? Any other suggestions? You look at me like I'm forgetting something. Okay, all right. Hey, thanks a lot for having me here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll do my best.